Discover the treasure that's in your own backyard at Crystal Springs Resort. It's the perfect way to escape your daily routine with luxury spas, award-winning golf, fabulous dining, mineral sports club, and so much more. Even treat yourself to an overnight stay for that special occasion. Great recreation and world-class amenities. It's all right here in beautiful Sussex County at Crystal Springs Resort.
Vernon Vibes is brought to you in part by United Water, the official water company of Vernon Township. United Water, involved in the communities they serve. Attention athletic directors, high school coaches, youth recreation directors. Too busy on the field to worry about your insurance? Put D&H Alternative Risk Solutions into the game and let us give you peace of mind for all your insurance needs. D&H will provide you with A-rated insurance for your leagues, teams, sports clinics, summer camps, and rec programs. D&H will give you a one-page quote, saving you time. Let D&H provide you with a no-obligation quote today. D&H Alternative Risk Solutions, local insurance for your local athletic program needs. Call 940-1851 or visit risksolutions.com.
Welcome to the first edition for 2013 of Vernon Vibes. May I start by wishing everyone a happy new year and to share with you the fact that 2013 is going to be an exciting year in Vernon. We've accomplished a lot, but there's yet a lot to be done. But before I get to that, I want to take a minute, if I may, to thank recently departed from the presidential of the council position, Brian Lynch. Brian served Vernon Township as our first council president and did so for 18 months and brought a tremendous amount of talent and skill and dedication to that position. It was Brian's personality and his, in fact, integrity and his perseverance that kept the Vernon Council speaking to each other, working their way through issues as we dealt with them over the past 18 months. And I would just like to say personally, Brian, job well done. Thank you. The people of Vernon benefited by your effort. And I thought it was a tremendous tip of the hat, in fact, that you decided that in stepping aside, you would nominate Mr. Pat Rizzuto as our council president for 2013. Pat's here with us today, and Pat, I want to congratulate you on your unanimous election as council president, and I know full well that this is going to be a challenging year for us, but I know that you're up to the task, you're up to the job, and I'm really happy to have you on board.
Thank you, Vic, and I appreciate your sentiments, and I appreciate the confidence that the council has expressed in me. And I echo your comments about Brian. Brian was a great council president. He was able to bring disparate personalities together for working together and developing this new form of government and developing the position of council in this new form of government, which is quite different from what it used to be. Absolutely. And Brian isn't going away. He's still very much an active member of our council, thank the Lord. Because he certainly is the kind of person that will continue, I think, to play a role of actually engendering and encouraging communication, as I know you will, Pat, Absolutely. As the council president. Absolutely. Brian will sit at my right, and I count on him as I counted on him as council president over the past 18 months. So I look forward to working with him and Dan and Dick Wetzel and Ed Dunn as we progress into 2013. Well, it's going to be an exciting year, and when we come back, I'm going to step aside for a moment and turn the camera over to Mr. Rizzuto so he has an opportunity to share some of his thoughts with you about his agenda and the agenda of the Town Council as we move into 2013. So we'll be back in just a minute.
Discover the treasure that's in your own backyard at Crystal Springs Resort. It's the perfect way to escape your daily routine with luxury spas, award-winning golf, fabulous dining, mineral sports club, and so much more. Even treat yourself to an overnight stay for that special occasion. Great recreation and world-class amenities. It's all right here in beautiful Sussex County at Crystal Springs Resort.
Vernon Vibes is brought to you in part by United Water, the official water company of Vernon Township. United Water, involved in the communities they serve.
Hi, welcome back to Vernon Vibes, and I'd like to thank the mayor for turning over the camera to me for a while. I don't know if I'm going to give it back to him. Again, I want to thank the mayor for the opportunity to speak with you this morning, and also my fellow council members for their support and their election of me as their new council president. This is a position which is rather unique. It's different from what had been done in the past, in that the council is an independent body from the administration of the township. It's part of it, but it does not take any active role in the operations of day-to-day activities. Clearly, the most important function that the council has is in the adoption of its budget. And why? Because the budget, the amount of money that is put into various areas, becomes the fuel that drives the township. By virtue of where this money is directed, we then direct the growth or the improvement of those particular areas of the community. Now, this is not something that's done by the council or by the mayor alone, but it's done in concert. Generally, the mayor will propose the budget, and the council will review that budget and examine where the funds are being proposed for various projects, and in that point, it either approves the direction or it may modify it in some way. I asked my fellow council members after I was appointed council president to begin to review their personal goals for this coming year. And I, along with them, will be incorporating that into a document which will kind of show where we would like to express our interests and our areas of direction for this coming 2013. My personal views are that we need to have strong involvement with the budget, as we did last year. As you know, last year we had a reduction of the town municipal part of the budget, 2 cents per hundred. And just so that you understand where I and my council members come from, when we examine the budget, we kind of think in increments, and the increment that we use is about $275,000, which is the equivalent of 1 tax point. So every time we look at either increasing or decreasing the amount of money that's spent in some particular area, we see how that affects you individually by whether or not it exceeds or is beneath a tax point, because we know that particular amount will move the rateable on individual homes. We determine where we want to go in terms of where we direct this money, and I think one of the areas that and I'm sure some of the other council members will agree to, is that we are looking to put more money into the maintenance of the township infrastructure. We have many secondary and tertiary roads that require care and they require maintenance, and I think this year, in consultation with the mayor, we've begun to plan for care and involvement in some of those, taking care of some of those roads. Also, I'm going to be looking at working with the council in defining standards for town center in terms of construction. This came about as part of my involvement in the land use board. So we're going to be holding a workshop on that, as well as a workshop on the budget. The budget, of course, will require our initial attention, and we'll follow it up with a workshop on the town standards. Also, I'll be looking to work with the EDAC in creating a more business-friendly environment within the community. I think it's very important that we do that to help offset any increase in expenses from other areas in terms of generating more tax revenue. Going to be working closely with a coalition of townships who are involved with the Newark watershed property. We're going to see if we can't increase tax revenues by virtue of asking for legislation to receive increased tax revenues from this area, which we kind of oversee but have no recompense for, as it were. I'd also like to make a point, and I'm going to ask, this is kind of a personal thing for myself. Every winter prior to I put out stakes. I drive these stakes along the boundary of my curbs. And I do this because I'm fortunate to have asphalt curbing. And when the plows come down in the winter, if there's a lot of snow, they don't see where the road ends and the curb begins. And I'm sure you've seen some big pieces of curbing wind up on your lawn or on somebody else's lawn. I think the simple act of taking these stakes and driving them in helps our plow drivers immensely. And I was talking to our DPW people, and they thought it would be a great idea if we were able to do that. And I'm going to ask to see if we can have some money diverted in our budget for the appropriation of some of these stakes. Maybe we can have a bunch of them available at the DPW site, and town residents can come and pick some of them up. 2 or 3 are all you really need to place along the curbway in front of your property. It would help the drivers so much, and believe me, it'll save us a lot of money in terms of curb repair in the spring. So those are a few of the things that I thought I would share with you, and reluctantly, I'm going to give the camera back to our mayor. He does a great job on Vernon Vibes, and I want to thank you for the time and thank the mayor for the time that he's given me. I appreciate it.
Attention athletic directors, high school coaches, youth recreation directors. Too busy on the field to worry about your insurance? Put D&H Alternative Risk Solutions into the game and let us give you peace of mind for all your insurance needs. D&H will provide you with A-rated insurance for your leagues, teams, sports clinics, summer camps, and rec programs. D&H will give you a one-page quote, saving you time. Let D&H provide you with a no-obligation quote today. D&H Alternative Risk Solutions, local insurance for your local athletic program needs. Call 940-1851 or visit risksolutions.com.
Discover the treasure that's in your own backyard at Crystal Springs Resort. It's the perfect way to escape your daily routine with luxury spas, award-winning golf, fabulous dining, mineral sports club, and so much more. Even treat yourself to an overnight stay for that special occasion. Great recreation and world-class amenities. It's all right here in beautiful Sussex County at Crystal Springs Resort.
Welcome back to the first edition of Vernon Vibes for 2013. This has been a unique way to communicate, and one of the things that I like to do during Vernon Vibes is to inform you, the community, of some of the upcoming events. And one of the things that is foremost on our calendar, on Friday, January 18th, which is coming up shortly, this mayor and the Community Development Department will be meeting with the Vernon Chamber of Commerce to begin the planning process for EarthFest 2013. It's become one of our premier activities, sponsored by the Vernon Chamber of Commerce, but with the active help of your municipal government. And so that process will be beginning, and certainly as we go forward with future Vernon Vibes, I'll have more to report to you about it. In addition, for the history buffs amongst us, on January 27th at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, the Vernon Historical Society will be making a presentation entitled The History of St. Thomas Episcopal Church. St. Thomas Episcopal Church is indeed the oldest church in Vernon Township, and it's located off of Route 94 in the town center. That presentation will be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it will in fact deal with the entire history of the church and its effect and impact on the development of Vernon Township. So I cordially invite you to join the Vernon Historical Society on January 27th, 2 p.m. The presentation will be held in the Fellowship Hall of the church, and if you need more information, please call Historical Society President Jesse Palladini at 973-764-6545. For those of you who have participated in other programs by the Historical Society, this one will be of the same quality, and I know that we all will enjoy and learn a tremendous amount about our heritage. So I invite you to, in fact, join the Society on the 27th. Another thing that I'm very excited about is that on this past Friday, January the 11th, Vernon Township took delivery on the first new fire engine to be purchased in Vernon Township in the past 12 years. That engine, constructed by the KME company out of Pennsylvania, will be housed in the Vernon Fire Department and will replace a fire engine that, in fact, has reached its usefulness. We're excited for Vernon, we're excited for our firefighters, and must give due credit to the previous administration for, in fact, funding through a bond issue in early 2011, the ability for us to follow through and see to it that we were upgrading the equipment that our volunteers have to fight fires and to address emergencies. In the not too distant future, we will be also receiving a new rescue truck, which also will be housed in the Vernon Firehouse in the center of town. But for the moment, it was my distinct pleasure, along with Council President Pat Rizzuto, to accept the keys from the KME company and present them to Chief Greg Carter of the Vernon Fire Department. We wish you gentlemen luck with your new piece of equipment. We know that you will take good care of it, and more importantly, you will have better equipment to deal with emergencies as they arise on behalf of the community. So we are moving forward with it. We're all excited about it, and there'll be more to report to you about it in the future. I'll be back in a minute.
Discover the treasure that's in your own backyard at Crystal Springs Resort. It's the perfect way to escape your daily routine with luxury spas, award-winning golf, fabulous dining, mineral sports club, and so much more. Even treat yourself to an overnight stay for that special occasion. Great recreation and world-class amenities, it's all right here in beautiful Sussex County at Crystal Springs Resort.
Vernon Vibes is brought to you in part by United Water, the official water company of Vernon Township. United Water, involved in the communities they serve.
Welcome back. As you heard in the comments made by Council President Rizzuto, the early part of 2013 will deal with the 2013 budget. The budget actually is the plan for our government for the entire year, and your department heads and myself, as well as Business Administrator Mr. Jimes and CFO Mr. Zuckerman, have been working diligently through the last half of 2012 to, in fact, be prepared to introduce the budget to the Town Council during my report of the State of the Township on January 28th. I would invite all who are interested to come, hear the synopsis of where the town is at, and then hear the budget presentation in terms of where we want it to go. It's quite succinct. There are no great surprises. We have made a decision to emphasize, the administration that is, to emphasize the need to address our infrastructure, and in particular, the secondary and tertiary roads and storm drains that have been ignored in Vernon Township for now almost 15 years. It is our intent, with the aid of Township Engineer Corey Stoner, as well as the head of the DPW, Dave Pullis, to in fact develop a 10-year program and a 5-year program, which is designed to in fact meet the requirements to keep our infrastructure from crumbling under us. We can no longer afford to ignore it. If we do, the problem will become extremely expensive. In addition to the infrastructure of our secondary and tertiary roads, this year's budget will deal with the upgrading of our DPW building, which has some significant flaws in it. We will be addressing a major problem here in the municipal building, which is leaking roofs. In addition to that, we'll of course continue to maintain and see to it that the properties owned by Vernon Township are kept in the best possible condition without driving the cost to the point where it raises your property tax. Which of course leads me to the comment that I have made in previous Vernon Vibes. I can tell you clearly that, number one, the appropriations for 2013 are slightly down as the budget stands right now. However, we will be making some final modifications to it between now and the 28th and when we present it. But the decrease in your tax rate will come from a conscious decision to give back to the Vernon taxpayers those taxes that you have been overtaxed over the past 10 years or so. In fact, I will talk more about this in future, but we haven't been able to increase the cash fund surplus to the point where we will be using approximately $1 million of surplus to apply against your tax rate, while we still will keep the required fund balance where it needs to be, which is 10% of the operating budget, or approximately $2.26 million. And we will continue to reduce the debt of this community as we did in 2011 and 12. I would tell you unequivocally, Vernon Township is in great financial shape, despite the kinds of misinformation that one hears around town. We are a AA Moody rating, which is in fact higher than the bond rating for the United States of America, or for that matter, the state of New Jersey. At the present time, less than 1/3 of our bonding capacity is being used by the township, and that includes the commitments that we have made on behalf of the MUA. So overall, we have a situation in which your taxes have gone down in 2012. They're going to go down again in 2013. The number of employees that I hear people saying, well, you know, we're hiring tons of people. That's just not true. The fact of the matter is there are 3 more employees in Vernon Township than there were in 2011 when I took the mayor's chair. And those 3 employees are in fact people, clerk typists, who have been cross-trained in every department in Vernon, and who fill in on a daily basis when there are absentees due to sickness or vacation or personal time, so that the business of the township goes on uninterrupted. I'm proud to tell you that we have a plan that has Vernon Township running as a business, and you, the Vernon residents, are the beneficiary of that, because we are able to offer you improved services, improved playing fields, improved police service. You've heard me say it many, many times. During 2012, the number of police officers on shift, on duty, has risen from 3 to 6, plus a sergeant on every shift. That had to do with the negotiations of the contracts, and as a result, your services are improving. Are they perfect yet? No. But we're striving to continue that kind of improvement and do it at a price that you all can afford. I'll be back in a minute.
Attention athletic directors, high school coaches, youth recreation directors. Too busy on the field to worry about your insurance? Put D&H Alternative Risk Solutions into the game and let us give you peace of mind for all your insurance needs. D&H will provide you with A-rated insurance for your leagues, teams, sports clinics, summer camps, and rec programs. D&H will give you a 1-page quote, saving you time. Let D&H provide you with a no-obligation quote today. D&H Alternative Risk Solutions, local insurance for your local athletic program needs. Call 940-1851 or visit risksolutions.com.
Discover the treasure that's in your own backyard at Crystal Springs Resort. It's the perfect way to escape your daily routine, with luxury spas, award-winning golf, fabulous dining, mineral sports club, and so much more. Even treat yourself to an overnight stay for that special occasion. Great recreation and world-class amenities. It's all right here in beautiful Sussex County at Crystal Springs Resort.
Welcome back. Not too long ago on one of these Vernon Vibes, I shared with you an experience I had over in the A&P when a gentleman approached me and indicated that he thought I was lying about the drop in property tax. And so in this segment, I'd like to first start out by congratulating Mr. Robert Hughes as the newly elected president of the Board of Education in Vernon Township and Mr. David Swire as the new vice president. You gentlemen have a daunting task ahead of you because this mayor, this council, and the people in Vernon are asking you publicly to bring to bear the same spirit, the same approach, and the same ideas that have been implemented here in the town government to bring property tax relief to the people in Vernon. No one is suggesting that we should in fact make drastic cuts to what we're doing over in the schools. Obviously, we have a commitment to our youngsters. But I do believe that there is room in 2013 for the budget to in fact give the people of Vernon Township tax relief, as we have done here in Town Hall. And so I publicly invite your cooperation. I offer our cooperation. I think that our liaison committee has done many great things since 2011, and we look forward to continuing that relationship to help our school board approach some very, very challenging decisions. We would like to be supportive of the decisions that you make. We know that you have a very tough contract negotiation ahead of you. I would simply say to the teachers, be aware of the sentiment of the people in Vernon. The November 6th election spoke loud and clear to how people feel about public employees getting raises. I would suggest that you use judgment and that you in fact take into effect that this recession is not over and that the major part of the property tax in Vernon Township, 60% of it, is generated by the levy to run our schools. Add to that the already made decision that we will experience a $1.5 million reduction in state aid to our school board, as we did last year and will continue for the next 5 years. It is imperative that the people who are leading our school board and the members of the school board understand you no longer can make decisions in a vacuum. We implore you to take into consideration the kinds of decisions that you make and their impact on the people who live in Vernon. We wish you good luck. We'll be there to help you and certainly support you. Thank you very much.
Discover the treasure that's in your own backyard at Crystal Springs Resort. It's the perfect way to escape your daily routine with luxury spas, award-winning golf, fabulous dining, mineral sports club, and so much more. Even treat yourself to an overnight stay for that special occasion. Great recreation and world-class amenities, it's all right here in beautiful Sussex County at Crystal Springs Resort.
Vernon Vibes is brought to you in part by United Water, the official water company of Vernon Township. United Water, involved in the communities they serve. Attention athletic directors, high school coaches, youth recreation directors. Too busy on the field to worry about your insurance? Put D&H Alternative Risk Solutions into the game and let us give you peace of mind for all your insurance needs. D&H will provide you with A-rated insurance for your leagues, teams, sports clinics, summer camps, and rec programs. D&H will give you a one-page quote, saving you time. Let D&H provide you with a no-obligation quote today. D&H Alternative Risk Solutions, local insurance for your local athletic program needs. Call 940-1851 or visit risksolutions.com.